Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Next Issue podcast. How's everybody doing?
What's up?
Doing well.
Thanks for that response. I see you guys are full of energy today. So on today's topic, as you can see, because of a certain movie that's come out recently that we won't talk about till later. Hopefully, once all these strikes are resolved and people are getting paid fair wages, and the studios get their heads out of their asses and they just act like humans, like competitive human beings.
I want to throw one thing down with the strike. This is when I read Zachary Levi made a post.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, wow. He's made so many posts.
Well, yeah, but no, this one I almost kind of agree with to an extent. He wasn't really knocking it. He agreed with the strikes. He just said it's kind of problematic, the fact that they can't talk about anything they've been in because of the strikes. And
That's the point.
Yeah, but I disagree with that. I mean, I get you're not trying. My point is he wasn't able to promote Shazam. And as bad as DC and Warner didn't promote that movie, he's not able to promote, maybe to help push it a little bit more,
But
Well,
not even out right now.
Shazam came out way before the strikes.
Yeah, but now it's on streaming and everything else, and so it's like you're not able to really even say it did so bad with the promotion.
But that's the point, right? Think about it. If you work at a factory, the point is to like stop making trinkets,
Right?
So that the factory realizes how much you're worth, and then so that's the same thing. In this case, the trinket just happened to be like movies and stuff
that they star in. I mean, it sucks because there's so many people involved in the making of those things they can't talk about. Yeah. But the studios rely on the actors in particular.
Imagine some of the like, let's say you're like a starting actor and that was like your first role, like you finally got a role in like Shazam or something, or Blue Beetle or whatever. That's a smaller role, right? You're not the main star or whatever, but like that's how you want to get your name out there, but you can't, right? But you're doing it because you understand that it's going to benefit you in the long run to not promote this film so that you're paid fairly, not just you but everyone else. So I understand. I mean, it sucks not to talk about the stuff you've done. I definitely agree with that part, but I also like it's more important that like it's disruptive. That's the point of a strike. It's supposed to be disruptive. So I did see that, and he got a lot of shit for it, and I think it's
not as bad as Mel's comments.
I feel at least Mel kind of walked it back literally because he was walking on the picket line. If you like, after
I know. Yeah. So, insert foot. It's like, way to go, dude.
Yeah. Again, those two guys, like, and you know what? Heel season 2 is not as good as season 1, so like maybe you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, but they're still promoting season 3 now too.
That's a different.
The top comment on the Stephen Amell issue I saw on Reddit was, "Stephen Amell, you have failed this city."
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That's awesome.
Nice.
But anyways, so we'll be talking about our favorite legacy characters in comic books once we get through some of the stuff. Now I will put a limit on how long we talked about the previously on stuff, because I have heard some feedback of like you guys were gonna do a thing on the Hellfire Gala and it took you like an hour and 30 minutes to get to it. So.
Yeah. Look, we had a lot of stuff that we were into, and
I already said I'm sorry, and I want to tell everyone I haven't even read a single comic in my giant stack room this week, so I have very little to say.
And I got a beef to pick with Josh.
Oh no! What did I do?
You fucking COVID.
What? I did have COVID.
I know. You gave it to me. I came down tested positive last Thursday.
It doesn't go over the internet. We established this.
I know. It's the whole education thing. You talked about how you went to a faculty meeting and got it, and then I'm like, I was wondering, this is going to happen to me, and then the day up that I had,
and then it did.
Came back to class. I tested positive that morning.
Dude, I'm sorry. Oh, that sucks.
That does suck, man.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to being back in the classroom on Monday because I know it's going to be.
I've already been
Germ City.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so school's officially like fully back for almost everyone pretty much this week, right?
Yeah, my first college class with UT Dallas starts this week though.
Okay.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. Well, good luck to you guys. Carry around hand sanitizer, wear a mask wherever you can, and and stay away from people. Like you don't have to. I understand high fives are fun, but Yeah.
The good thing is, by college age, you don't have to high five or hug students as they walk into class. Like that, I stand way in the front. I'm like, don't get near me.
It's just finger guns, huh?
Finger gun. Pew 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 pew.
You should have the cone of silence that comes down, like in Get Smart, and just keep everyone in that little tube.
That would be amazing.
Human condom.
I'm gonna pull a Jim Morrison and just have my back to them the whole class. So
that'd be funny. You should like put glasses behind your head too.
draw facial hair on the back of my head,
or just get the little glasses combo with the mustache.
There you go. Yeah, like the Groucho.
Yeah. All right. So you know what, Clay, I moved you up to the first spot because you have probably the largest list, and I think Kyle and I probably have read some of the stuff that's on your list anyway. So we'll kind of.
Okay, do you want to go through comics or shows?
Let's do comics first, so we can jump in, and then we'll come back to some shows and stuff like that.
All right, let me
hold on.
Let me try to present here. Wrong one.
No, you're good. You got it.
There we go.
Oh, sorry, I had moved there for you.
Oh, okay. There we go. Avengers of the Wasteland was able to pick up the whole series at Half Price Books, and thank goodness it was okay. I mean, it takes place. What you don't know is this takes place in the Old Man Logan world. Old Man Logan, Old Man Quill, which are typically written by Ethan Sachs. This is Ed Brisson kind of taking the heroes that we've discovered in that world and putting an Avengers team together. So Baby Hulk that we saw at the end of Old Man Logan is this Hulk.
Okay.
It's just one of those fun books where you get to see different versions of heroes come together. I think that's what I kind of love about these future stories. You get to see different takes on everyone, especially the villains. And then the big battle at the end. It was okay. I mean, if you love that world, it's fun. Finally finished Weird World, which is a Secret Wars tie-in. It was Jason Aaron and Mike Del Mundo. Awesome. Just the art is beautiful. The story is fun.
That's an awesome cover.
And Man Thing shows up.
Man Thing, yeah.
Yeah, so Man Thing and Weird World, it's a perfect fit. And Jason Aaron writing, oh God, who is that? I think it's Akron.
It's his pitch for Conan, right?
Yeah, I mean,
basically. Wow, yeah, good point. Yeah,
and I mean, some of the art pages, are frame worthy. They're just so great. Nice. And then, of course, I'm into the Hellfire run because I'm digging everything that Jerry Duggan's doing. So, the X-Men books, the Children of the Vault is interesting.
Let's go back to that one, girl. Let's talk about that one for a little bit. So. Did you read all the stuff prior to? Like, did you know who the Children of the Vault are and all that stuff?
Aren't they basically like criminals that they've put away in here so that they can't replicate?
Right. So during Hickman's run, they found this vault where time passes differently, right? And a bunch of the X-Men were stuck in there for a long time, including Synch and Laura Kinney and stuff. And I think Darwin was the other one because they sent people that would survive. Like all this because they didn't know what was in there. So these are the beings that came out of that, and they had them trapped in like kind of like the Phantom Zone, but like with Krakoa and stuff.
Yeah.
But then once Krakoa went down from the Hellfire Gala, they were let out. And I think my favorite thing is the rebrand. Because they're the Children of Tomorrow, like by the end of the first issue. But we know, right? We know as the readers who they are. And I think also seeing Bishop and Cable work together, it's always fun. Like in the cartoon, I remember they were very antagonistic because like they were each trying to fix their own future.
That's really what sells me on the book is their team up. I mean, the villains are really good and the concept's cool, but I like those two together. And Bishop, I miss the Bishop mullet of the 90s. I know they constantly change his look, but bring back the mullet.
Mullet.
Blame Moira for that. She changed the hairstyles in one of the resets.
Does every time she reboot, he gets a new hairstyle?
Yeah.
Now I saw you skeet about this at the Alpha Flight #1.
A skeet.
As we all
see that.
As we were all running to Blue Sky as Twitter is starting to go under.
Can you yeet a skeet?
Can we do a quick tangent on that? Because I think so. To my generation, skeet has a very different connotation because of Little John and the East Side Boys.
Oh, okay.
So when I don't know if nobody told the Blue Sky developers, or people just, I don't even know where the terms came from.
I just saw it kind of adapted.
Yeah. So I've always thought it's really like it. You know, it tickles my dumb teenage mind. Like, oh, yeah, I re-skeet this or whatever. Like, so yeah. Anyways. But yeah, I think that has a whole different meaning too. But I don't know if you guys know what that or have heard of that.
I mean,
when I'm listening to Little John at home and relaxing.
Well, if you ever have the time, just stop by Urban Dictionary and it'll fill you in.
or don't.
Yeah. Anyways, back to Flight, because this book was a surprise. I almost didn't pick it up. Because I don't much care for Alpha Flight.
I love Alpha Flight.
I know you do.
Wait, Danny, are you anti-Canadian?
I'm anti-Department H.
Okay.
I just hate government structures like that.
If we don't have that, we don't have Wolverine.
Yeah, that's true.
I was kind of anti the book at first until I came to the end, and I'm now like, okay, maybe I'm kind of back on board.
Yeah.
You needed the twist at the end, because for the longest time I was like, what the fuck? What are these guys doing? It does not make sense.
Yeah.
And it's Mac, Puck, Snowbird, and Shaman are the only team members.
Because they're the non-mutants, right?
Yeah.
They're the non-mutants, and so they're being brought back by Department H to rid Canada of mutants.
Oh, wow.
I was like, what the fascist?
What I want to know is,
yeah,
Dawkins is there, and he's in the freaking Fang costume that's made like, 2 or 3 appearances in the history of comic books. It was a Claremont Shire guard costume that Wolverine took over, and he's in the damn thing. I'm like, how does this thing keep getting around?
Envy in the chat saying that last page of the comic was mad. I definitely agree.
If they didn't have that page, if they had drawn that out for like issues, I probably would not buy anymore.
You know,
all right, I'll have to pick this up, but now I understand why in Marvel Snap this month's card was Daken. I didn't know who that was. I'm like, who's this weird like Wolverine wannabe? But
he's been around.
He's been around. He was around before Laura.
Yeah. Okay, we need a Daken episode. We need to educate Josh here.
We need.
We need a Daken episode.
You better be talking about the band. All right.
This can be kind of a
This could be kind of a Daken. We need like a segment where it's educate me or something where you did like a quick 5 to 10 minute like this is the person's history, because he's in here for the long haul no matter what we want.
Today can be kind of a Daken episode because he was a Wolverine at some point.
Yeah, that's true.
But now he changed his name to
what was it?
I don't know, but it was ridiculous because it
was
like
Fang, something like
Fang. Yes, it was Fang.
Yeah,
and I was just like, why? I mean, even Wolverine 2 would be better than Fang.
But I should have trusted Ed Brisson because he's also doing Batman Incorporated, which is one of my favorite ongoing titles right now over at DC. And he's done a whole bunch of stuff. Like he also wrote the Wastelands thing that Clay read earlier.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, he has fun with those characters. That's what he does best.
Yep.
The main thing in Alpha Flight that was, Daken from
Future Fight
was seeing like them go up against the mutants and who was the opposing team and everything, and that this is all bureaucratically run, which makes a lot of sense. But then that last page reveal is like.
Yeah, and we'll leave it like that so Josh can experience it for himself because I think he'll enjoy it.
Okay. I think this one's Dark X-Men.
Sure.
Yeah, Dark X-Men #1. I've already bagged and boarded it.
That was interesting.
Yes, so Madeline Pryor's back as the Goblin Queen with Havoc.
She's been back.
Huh?
She's been back.
Well, I mean, to have like her, she's kind of like one of the primary characters in this book, where before she's just been a member of Krakoa.
And
I just so like Alex is a weird dude. Okay, Havoc is a weird dude because if you think about it, he's basically hooked up. Yeah, he's hooked up with his brother's a woman that looks just like his brother's ex.
It's his wife's clone. It's his sister-in-law's clone.
Yeah, and she runs hell, and like I love the whole Mutant X run. Like that was one of my favorite runs of X-Men because it had Havoc in a world that was brand new, and you had this Goblin Queen. You had all these different takes on characters that tied together really well. And that Tom Rainey art was so good.
Yeah, I have all the issues. That's an amazing run.
But Dark X-Men is violent. Like there's some stuff going on in that book that I was kind of psyched to see, but then I was like, but Alex is all a part of this now, so it's kind of weird.
So Clay, I have to ask: did that Fall of X issue that we read a week or two ago convince you to now start reading X titles again? Because it seems like it did.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it took out all that heavy like sci-fi stuff that you had to kind of read all the titles to know what was going on and all the politics and stuff. And now it's just borrowed down to like mutants are refugees and they got to find a place to live and everyone's against them.
If anything, the politics just completely did a 180, right? Because now it's a different thing. Now the X-Men or the mutants are back under like scrutiny and stuff.
I'll say this. I'll give this X-Men Tells a shot as long as they last more than 4 fucking issues.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.
I don't think any of these are planned to be. I think maybe Alpha Flight is a mini, but it should be at least 6.
If Dark X-Men actually is a longer running series, I might give it a shot. I want somebody to actually enjoy and not like, 6 issues and you just redid the whole team or just redid a whole new comic book.
Let me give you quickly the rundown of the Dark X-Men. So it's Madeline Pryor, Havoc. There's a mutant named Zero. I don't know them very well. M-Plate. I don't know them very well either. Azazel is their Nightcrawler. Gambit, Archangel, Maggot, Gimmick, and Albert. I don't. Oh, I guess Albert is the Wolverine.
Wolverine Android, yeah. I like that Maggot's in there.
I love Maggot, but I don't like his new look. Well, like what happened to the classic Maggot?
Yeah.
So, I guess to spin off my last question, since Marvel announced Brevoort is going to be the new overseer of the X titles, does that worry anyone with all these big changes? What
is Jordan? So let me tell you. I'll say here. Let me hold on. Clay, I'm gonna take the camera real quick.
Okay.
So I just had. If you saw on the channel, I just had a conversation with David Pepose, writer of a bunch of stuff, including the upcoming Punisher, and come back part 2 tomorrow because we had a long conversation. But the name Tom Brevoort came up so much while we were talking about all the Marvel stuff that he's doing. So if you like David's stuff, a lot of that is because of the work that he's doing with Brevoort. So I think I'm actually encouraged now, which I also like Jordan White. I think he's been pretty good as far as overseeing the X-Men line. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, good. Sometimes changes, you need to shake things up every once in a while with comics. So
I guess I just find it odd because they just made this big change and now they're going to change kind of like editorial oversight again. I don't know. I feel like Marvel is a little untethered at the moment. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. So.
Oh no. Of course not.
I think they probably wanted Hickman for a lot longer than they got him, and Jerry Duggan has done a fantastic job, jumping in and filling in because I mean, he did the Hellfire Gala. That's what's brought me back. You know, I fucking love it. Yeah, I mean,
I hated it, but I've already talked about
that. I just loved the way it set up everything at the end, that it made me want to go buy these books. It brought back Alpha Flight. I love Alpha Flight. I wish it had an ongoing. When it had one shots, I'll pick them up. But like, there's like 3 volumes of that series, and I just like they pretty much kind of keep like the core of Mac and Heather. And where is Heather, by the way? Yeah. Where is she dead?
I don't know. I didn't read that Gamma Flight book.
She's raising their kid. She left him in one of the previous issues where basically.
Yeah, I think you can find out either through the Gamma Flight miniseries or the Immortal Hulk, because I know they were part of that run as well.
I think they have a son now, and so she left Mac.
Okay. Yeah, because
but Alpha Flight was also a part of Sword up in space, and now they're all
Puck and Aurora were a part of Sword. Not all of Alpha Flight.
But then Aurora came back to go to Krakoa.
Okay, because Sasquatch, so he isn't in this book at all. So I'm assuming he's still with Sword.
Yeah, maybe.
Okay.
I
mean, he was depowered, right? Then Hulk stole his Gamma.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Now Samson is the powered Sasquatch.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure this is riveting for that one person that read everything. That
is that you, Danny?
It's not. I haven't finished Immortal Hulk.
I'm fascinated. All right,
I need to because Immortal Thor is coming out next week.
Interesting. Okay.
Anyways,
Uncanny Avengers.
Speaking of Gary Duggan,
yes.
Yeah, he's writing this book. He wrote Uncanny Avengers in the past, where X-Men teamed up with the Avengers. But in this case, it's more like Cap has teamed up. Cap and Deadpool team up with Rogue and some of the X-Men.
I don't count Deadpool because Deadpool's a mutant and was on Krakoa, so it's almost like Cap is like leading a team of X-Men.
It's different because it's different from the Remenders run, because that one was half Avengers, half X-Men. This one is just Cap with a bunch of mutants, which I'm on board for too.
Also, but it just seemed like Deadpool was with Cap when they teamed up.
Well, because he wasn't in Krakoa. He's been doing his own thing.
They even mentioned, like, he said, I gave him a chance before, but I let him down because the Hydra had that evil version of me, is what turned against him. So now I'm trying to give him a shot again.
Yeah, I will say this book was also pretty violent. I was not expecting that from a book with Captain America in it.
Okay,
he goes all out with his shield.
This may be violent, but this did not carry the weight of all the murders that Kitty did.
Oh, for sure.
Oh shit, that was awesome.
Holy crap.
Like I love seeing like Kitty go crazy and kill a bunch. I love seeing Azazel teleport people into walls and shit. I'm loving the violence of the books that we haven't seen in a long time, because I don't think we really saw like Kitty in Magic, in the original Magic series that came out in the 80s. I think at one point she pulls Nightcrawler's leg through the floor and leaves it.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah, that's the most I've ever seen her use those powers.
And they actually did something that I don't think we've ever seen them do in the 616 universe. The only time I ever saw her do one power was in the Ultimate universe. Is she actually made her density so strong she actually was able to punch right through somebody, and like it's like she only ever did that when she was in the Ultimate universe dating Peter.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that's right. Yeah,
but she basically has the same power set as the Vision. She can phase, but she can also make her body and like density harder, where she can become stronger.
I would love to own the pages of Kitty doing what she did in that book, because there's like one where she takes this guy's gun and puts it to his head, puts it through his head, and then unphases it.
Oh my god! Wow.
Yeah, this is Kate Pryde. This is no longer Ariel.
This is Shadowcat.
This is Shadow.
Yeah, exactly. This is Shadowcat. Yeah. What if Dark Moon Knight? Yeah.
Really? So,
really.
I've never read the story. I don't think I've read those issues of Moon Knight
because they're 90s Moon Knight. So
you can tell. I think the art is.
I didn't say the art was that great either. It was like very limited. Like almost didn't seem like there was any range of motion for the body. It was just like there's a leg lifted, there's a punch, but there wasn't anything like fluidity to the actual art for me.
Yeah. So they took one issue from Mark Spector Moon Knight that was made back in the 90s, like issue 3, and this is the adaptation of What If, and it's him versus Bushman, and Mark dies. Mark dies in the issue, and yeah, there you go. There's the page.
Spoiler.
Well, this is like the beginning of the book, because this is the
I'm
twist,
just
right?
kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, and so his girlfriend, I want to say Marlene. Yeah, I'm having a brain fart. Marlene is there, and she becomes Ra, the god of sun. The Egyptian god of sun reaches out to her and sees how dark she's gotten because of Mark's death, and empowers her. So she becomes this power of light character that's the antithesis of Moon Knight, but still seeks vengeance and fights a lot. And it's just, I wouldn't pay full price if you want to read it.
I hope they actually bring this character into. I like Luminary. I think that was the name of the character.
Yeah, Luminary.
I like the idea of Mark having a counterbalance with a different god. Like, feels very Green Lantern Spectrum, like, to me, where all the gods could have their own avatar, and we could have like this big giant war or tournament or something.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that, but we already have. He already has a teammate from Scarlet.
Oh yeah. Well, so that's different, right? I mean, that's in the City of the Dead stuff. Yeah.
I finally got all these issues at Half Price Books, and this was the most fun I have had reading Thanos, the Black Order. There's just violence and fighting. The Avengers are, really trashed in this, and it's a great team up. I just had 2 of these because of the Scotty Young covers.
I like that every other cover is a Scotty Young.
Yeah. Wait,
you can actually get this whole run in Scotty Young covers. I only have 2 of the 4. So,
are you telling me there is a fun Jonathan Hickman book?
Yes. Oh, it's so good. I mean, it gives the Black Order like more than you get from the movies, because they're spread throughout this, killing and doing all sorts of damage. I loved it. It was fun. The problem is it's another event book, so I would get to the end and it would give me like 4 other books I should seek out to read, and I was like, screw that, I'm just going to read this, and that's all you really need.
It's got a little map.
Yeah, it has a map, because the original the point of
the incursion,
the point of the Avengers run under Hickman was, we need to build a team for tomorrow. And that is where this team was, because it was going to build out to space, to deal with gods, to deal with things on a whole nother level. And I think we're finally getting that gods book later from Hickman.
And parallel to that, we were having the New Avengers, which follow the Illuminati trying to stop all the incursion. So there's 2 different tracks. So it's like the Infinity book goes down the middle, and there's 2 different tracks you can follow, with New Avengers following like what's going on somewhere else, I think on Earth, and then the Avengers book is following what's going on like space, and then they kind of come back and collide in the Infinity series. I thought that was really well done, and I was reading all that stuff at the time.
And the art, I forget. Oh my God, the guy's name. Jim Chung did the last issue, but Opeña.
Oh, Opeña, yeah, Michael Opeña. Yeah.
Whoa, that art is beautiful.
It's good stuff.
That is the reason for that book. I mean, the story's great, but the art is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then last book we did for Comic Book Club, The Last Ronin. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like that.
And before I get beat up on, let me give you my case. We have seen this story done before in Old Man Logan, with Dark Knight Returns, and it's been done better and had better payoffs. The problem I had with this was they reveal who the Last Ronin is way too early. And it should have been done in the style of the original comic in black and white, so that you don't know who the Last Ronin is until later, because you only know the turtles in the original black and white run by their weapons, and it would have been a better payoff to see who that was later, or even have because he has the voices of the other turtles in his head. even the characterizations, who they were, could, if you were a fan, you would know, and you would be able to figure it out before the last issue. But I kind of like that being hidden, and it's like right out there up front. It has the Mousers, which were original characters that I love, but I didn't see what's his name? Krang. And then I brought this up that Bebop and Rocksteady, and Josh pointed out that they're just from the animated shows, but
no, they're in the comic books now too, depending on what series you're reading.
Well, now, but not originally.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to see them as something as like maybe, you know, some part of the story, but everyone out, like April's still alive, and then there's just other stuff I don't want to spoil if people want to read it, but it just didn't pay off big enough for what I paid for the book.
Koi wanted Toka and Razor.
Hell yeah.
I mean, the thing I enjoyed the most was getting out my old TMNT books and researching stuff and looking at the history of it and how many different publishers it's had and just the success. But really, the Turtles were the beginning of the speculation market, because when it came out, like, it was supposed to be a one and done, and it sold so big they did like 7 reprintings of the first issue.
Yeah.
And that's when I remember people at my comic book store just started give me any #1 that comes out. People would just buy stacks of independent books hoping for that next Turtle book, because that first edition Turtle book is really valuable.
Oh yeah.
And was a big hit back in the day. And then, I mean, you just have it. It's just so ridiculous to see, from the Turtles to the other, the copycat books that came out at the time, to to just the money that Eastman and Laird made off of it. You know, like, I know it kind of broke them up, which is sad, but they came back together to do this book, which is probably the best part of it for me. The story just didn't pay off as well as it did for you guys. I know you loved it, Kyle, and I know.
Well, no, and obviously I'm not a
so
fan
y'all
of
say your piece, but that's where I'm coming from. Is like,
I'm going to say this with the 2 ones you mentioned. I'm burnt out on the Dark Knight, and I was never a fan of Old Man Logan. So this
I think that's an even hotter take.
I think that's it. Like, Dark Knight.
No. The Dark Knight is a great book, but I'm so burnt out.
Kyle only likes The Dark Knight Strikes Back.
No, fuck that. No, I like the Dark Knight.
He loves the Master Race.
Master Race, yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Thanks a lot.
Kyle's out. And he's
it's been done so much time. It's like I know the story. I don't need any more.
Yeah.
But this for me, it's TMNT, and I love TMNT. So it's like for me, it's refreshing. And that one, Old Man Logan, I tried. I just didn't get into the story. I'm not in the old man stuff. Marvel.
This book is 70% running on nostalgia and 30% on the story. That's it. Remember this. You know, that's what all it is. And
I'm gonna adjust it to 50% nostalgia, 30% story, 20% art, because it's really cool to see the different artists all throughout the story.
I disagree with you, Daniel. Is I would maybe give a little bit higher percentage on the art.
Okay, yeah, maybe 25-25 on story art.
I will say this. So I said this during the club. I really liked it, but I didn't have all of the knowledge of the books that it was clearly. I mean, I know the Dark Knight, but I've never read Old Man Logan. I've never read Old Man Logan. Yeah, so I can go watch Logan and the movie and have nothing to
but they're so different. So different.
All right, good.
But that's what makes Logan so awesome, is the fact that it's such a good film. If you haven't read Old Man Logan, you can still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But for me, I've been thinking a lot about the end of the book, and again, I won't spoil anything, but I feel like the very last thing that the Ronin does when he writes in that book, and he gives it
well maneuvered.
Thank you. And he gives it to the girl, and the message that he gives her, I think, lands so powerfully for that book that it kind of elevates it for me. I really liked it. You know, I really liked it.
I will recognize that is a really great point, because I didn't bring.
I also liked it, and during Comic Book Club we talked about why I like the choice of revealing the turtle very much up front, because I think it helps you expand on the emotional stuff that you see later on throughout the book. I see Clay's point, but I mean, I'm fine with the choice that they made. So, but
well,
yeah,
it's one of those rare opportunities where you get to play with the colors in a book, because they didn't have the different colored, mask. They just had the weapons. That's how you knew who was who.
They do at first though, and they kind of bring it back throughout, where he's actually wearing a black eye mask, and so you can't immediately identify it, right? Which again, and then of course, as Sensei, I'm really trying to make sure I don't name any names here. His student is also wearing a black mask. Which
I wonder if the trailer is going to spoil it later.
Oh, fuck, it might. Oh, shit. We'll find out.
But I mean, obviously, IDW thinks they have something because they're doing another miniseries called The Lost Stories, which introduces and is setting up the second part of this. And obviously, there's a video game, so so I feel like the second book is going to have a lot more freedom to do whatever it wants, as opposed to just trying to complete that story. That maybe because I feel like this is something that Eastman and Laird had maybe in the back of their heads for a long time, right?
Yeah.
The Dark Knight Returns came out I guess
85, 86.
Is that before the Turtles came out?
It was 84, right around the same time.
Okay,
it was like, I mean, it's all the same time period.
Yeah.
My one complaint about the book that I'm pleased hearing there's going to be sequels and more in this world is they never really explain how that city comes about. You don't get that story. It's just suddenly there. And so I would like to see that. I think there's a lot of world building and lore there to play in. So I'm glad to hear
Josh wants a full series of like the tax treaties and
I do. I want to know the economics. I want to know
in planning, zoning meetings, like
I do.
Parks and Rec of this world.
Yep, that would be great. Yeah. Give me Lil Sebastian.
Hell yeah.
Great.
He's on the picket lines.
He is. I saw that. That was great.
Clay, I think you want to show us a few more comics. I'm gonna let you do that very quickly, but we do have.
Oh no, I was going to do that when we got to the
okay. When we come back,
that's my legacy recommendations and references.
Gotcha. All right, Kyle. I'll let you go next since you got a bunch of stuff too.
Let me see. I did Uncanny X-Men Volume 4. Oh yeah, we are not X-Men Avengers. We already talked about that, so I don't have to do that. Spider-Man Volume 4, number 11. This is where Spidey actually finally meets, and we get the history of Spider-Boy, who's been resurrected. His sidekick from long ago. But and it's just funny to hear him how he was mutated. This kid was mutated with like these when he can grow out like these spider. He has multiple eyes and fangs and stuff, and so he takes him to Daredevil to get trained, sort of, and you find out like basically he got his costume all this from the Fantastic Four, and it's just him being webbed to a wall trying to tell Peter, it's like, look, I'm your sidekick, blah blah blah. I was erased, now I'm back, and now it looks like we're gonna have the Batman and Robin of the Marvel Universe with Spider. So it's kind of like it's kind of fun.
I only hear about these Spider-Man books through you, Kyle, and I cannot express how badly I don't want to read them. These sound so fucking awful. Awful.
X-Men, Spider-Man, hi. It's like I'm more enthralled with the Spider Universe than I am the X-Men
universe. Hey, I love Spider-Man. I picked up that first issue of the revival, and within 2 pages, I was like, I'm fucking out. Like,
you can't judge it by that.
Did you read the Amazing Spider-Man 31 last week?
Yeah.
I think so. That one had some stories that I'm kind of interested in.
Yeah, it turned me off in one point. I was really hoping they were going to explore the Felicia angle.
Like the bachelor party, I thought that was fun.
Yeah,
the wedding, I was like, whatever. This is dumb. I'm glad to see that. I'm glad to see they're setting up a Spider-Woman series where she's just like, "Where's my goddamn baby?"
Yeah. Jessica's kind of going all nutty, and she's like, "Somebody's taking my mom." After being resurrected.
Yeah.
Now she's talking about her kid.
And then also they're bringing back that, is it Spider-Man Reign? What Dark Reign? I don't know what the story is with.
That was a Kari Andrews future Peter Parker who had killed Mary Jane because he was radioactive, so she had been around him and developed cancer. And it's a lot darker version. And I think for some reason there's like limited prints on that. Aaron was telling me about it at Urban Legends of why there's limited prints of Reign out, but it's a great book. And Kari Ander's art, I'm a big fan of.
So the internet has a very disgusting title for that story that I won't talk about, but it has to do with Skeet. So there you go.
Oh, I read this. There was an article somewhere about it, and I was like, "This is very weird." I know exactly what you mean. Yeah,
interesting. Anyways, now, okay. Oh, yeah. What else, Kyle?
Let's see. Groot Volume 2, number 4. I've been kind of on off on this, but this was this was a lot of fun. I like how it's a pre-Marvel story. But then you also have a descendant for Yondu, Alpha Centaurian, who's in there. So it's kind of like a pre-Guardian kind of story for all Guardians. I mean, one character is going to go on to make the original team, and then you got Groot, who's going to be formation of the current universe. It was a fun little story. Groot basically been trying to say what's left of Groot's race, and they find a new planet, and then how the Groot race comes to be.
Now, Kyle, for the next book, please don't tell me what happens because I've been waiting for Zdarsky to finish his run, so I can read it. I stopped at Devil's Reign. This is the last issue, right? That came out today?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But you can tell me if you liked it or not. But
no, I did. Wait, you're talking about Groot, or are we talking about
No, Daredevil.
Oh, Daredevil. This, oh my god. So everyone's trying to find out what happened to Daredevil, and then Elektra is still taking on the mantle of Daredevil, and then she goes someplace where you kind of wrote. Wait, no. That's what I'm trying to be very vague. She goes to this place where you think she finds Matt, and it may be him, but he's you're not sure if he even knows who he is anymore, and he's kind of fighting the urge of being Daredevil. It's about as vague as I can get. You got to read it, but I was not a fan of the storyline of how it went. At first, I started off, it was kind of cool, and then I just like, what the fuck? I mean, have you read the previous issues?
I've only I stopped at Devil's Reign, and I was okay. I'm just gonna wait here until it's done and then read it.
Because there's a couple issues back, he does something physically to himself. I'm gonna leave it at that. And you're just like, what the fuck? And then you're not sure. And then the story goes very mystical in a lot of ways.
Okay.
And you're just not sure it's where they're going with Daredevil at the moment.
Okay, maybe we could talk about.
Is Danny Rand gonna be Daredevil again?
No.
Okay.
No.
When you said mystical place, I thought, did he go to Kunlun?
No. I mean mystical, like he goes to like hell and actually meets up with his father for a few things, and it's just like he's almost like this isn't really spoiling anything. Mephisto has nothing to do with this, but you almost feel like there's some kind of mystical battle going with him, and you almost think Mephisto was kind of pulling the strings of how much that he hates him with the taking the Daredevil name and everything. So it's weird.
So it's all Mephisto really on branding. Like, I'm the devil here.
Yeah.
All right. What else, Kyle?
And then I had let me see. This one I am really enjoying. World's Finest, number 14.
Yeah. Great cover.
This series, if I'm going to pimp any series from DC right now, this is that one, because this is basically a retelling of the first meeting between Batman and Superman as the World's Finest meeting, and it is just a lot of fun. It's basically how they learn each other's identity.
Who wrote it?
Mark Waid.
Yeah.
Oh, Mark Waid. Anything Mark Waid's doing over at DC, like.
I love this series because it's all pre-stories. It's all pre from the current history of the, it's just how it's when Dick Grayson was still Robin, it's how Robin met, they have an issue where it's Robin goes on a date with Supergirl and it goes all wrong. It's just the series is magic. I love it.
I like that they are using this also to like maybe plant seeds for stuff that's happening in other series.
Exactly.
Because they introduced the Devil, Neza, that they like all the Lazarus Planet stuff. They introduced it in this series, but then you jump back to the current timeline and then it comes back. So like, yeah, Mark Waid's doing a lot of really fun stuff.
I can't recommend a DC book more than that one.
Yeah, this one, and Mark Waid's also writing Shazam,
which is good too.
Yeah, which I'll always call him Shazam. I'm not calling him the Captain.
He's Captain Marvel.
No, he goes by the Captain now, and I hate it.
I'm okay with the Captain. It's halfway there. DC will finally retcon this bullshit. He's not Shazam. He's Captain Marvel.
Yeah. Sorry, Jeff Jones. He's the Captain. All right. Cool.
Captain Levi.
Captain Levi. Oh wait, are you Attack on Titan fan here? No.
No.
He doesn't know who you're talking about.
Where did you get? Oh, Zachary Levi. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. There's a character in Attack on Titan.
Yeah, he's right. There's Captain Levi,
who is one of the most badass characters in anime. So Josh, you want to show us your comics since you haven't read them?
Sure. Okay, so between getting COVID and going on a short vacation and then going back to work, I had 3 weeks of comics I had to pick up at my shop.
Can I just highlight that your Oppenheimer experience was very different than everyone else's because
I know.
Were you actually at Los Alamos?
Yes. Yeah. So we took a trip to Santa Fe, and then our last day we realized Los Alamos was only like 40 minutes away. So we drove up there, and they were having an art fair, excuse me, which itself was fun. But when we were talking to the people, so there is a building in Los Alamos that was originally built for an exclusive boys academy that was there that weirdly counts as 2 of its alumni, Gore Vidal and William S. Burroughs. It was such a weird thing, but the house that now serves as the museum was built for the art teacher. And then when basically the government came in, they shut down everything in Los Alamos, including that boys' school. And that house became Oppenheimer's house. And so it's now a museum. So it was just all Oppenheimer all the time. It's actually a really great museum. But
that's how Nolan wanted you to watch the movie.
Right, exactly.
Like projected onto some giant rock in the desert.
Yeah. Well, they had apparently done some sort of screening there because there was a signed movie poster inside like the lobby. So, but anyway, but no, it was good. It was fun. Had a good time. But I have all these comics I haven't read, so continuing to get Gary Duggan's Invincible Iron Man. This will be the make or break issue for me. I think I'll just kind of see if I want to stick with it.
You got to keep going. We got a wedding coming up.
I would say if you want to read an Iron Man book, this is the one to read. I have loved every issue of this.
Rude.
I Am Iron Man. Still reading Hellcat, which is fun.
Yes, love that book.
This should be wrapping up, I think, pretty soon, right? Is this the penultimate issue? Excellent. These were some that are not mainstream books I picked up, and I was, dang it. Sorry, there's my yard guy. I was curious.
I don't think.
Okay. Did you guys read or talk about this new Garth Ennis book?
No.
The Ribbon Queen? Okay. This came out like 3 weeks ago, so I will read it and get back to you about it. Picked up Charm City. Haven't read it yet. No? Okay. Doctor Strange. Still enjoying.
Yeah, me too.
Fantastic Four, literally fantastic. Probably one of the best FF books in recent decades. Picked this up only because I'm intrigued by. I haven't read a Star Wars comic in ages, but I'm intrigued by dark droids, and I love these covers, so I had to get this one. So I will read that.
I can't remember. Have you gone back and watched the Droids cartoon on Disney Plus?
I have. It's still a banger of a theme song, by the way.
It is. The police of all.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. But yeah, I actually at the last con I went to, there is and I still follow him. There's a guy. What is his name? It's a company that sells animation production art, and I bought a cell from Droids that I keep in my office at work. So yeah, it doesn't have the droids. It has the weird bearded guy, but I like it. Red Sonja, got the second issue of the new series.
Me too. I haven't read it, but I did get it.
Yeah, I love how the art feels very, for lack of a better word, kind of classic.
Yeah,
it just has this kind of classic feel to it. Void Rivals, I'm continuing to read.
Same,
because why not? This I'm just begrudgingly buying at this point. I still have no fucking clue what's going on. But it has Hellboy in this one. And this issue 4, for some reason, got a big write-up in the Beat that I avoided because I didn't want any spoilers. So I'm going to read it and see if maybe it all kind of coalesces. But I did pick up this one shot because I had to.
Dude, it's so good.
Is it good? All right.
So good.
Again,
one thing and that's it. And it's done. One and done.
I don't have a lot of Hellboy experience beyond the first volume and little bits and pieces here.
I think
and
as
there,
long as you've like seen one of the movies and know the main gist of Hellboy,
that's kind of what I was hoping.
Yeah.
So.
It's really set. My only experience with Hellboy are the movies, and then the DC Dark Horse crossover they did with Batman and Starman.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
Hold on. I didn't know that.
I totally forgot I had pulled this. I know we got the preview, so
yeah,
I still get to see it.
Oh God, that cover is awesome.
It's beautiful, just beautiful.
Is that just Frank Frazetta, or is that
no? This is actually someone else. This is
it's Sienkiewicz?
It's Bill Sienkiewicz.
Ooh.
Yep. Man, it's beautiful. Got the last issue.
I don't know why you doubted me so much on that.
I don't know either. I was. I believe this is the last issue, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think we're done. I think I'm finally gonna catch up.
Yeah. This looked amazing, and it's getting tons of reviews. Did you guys discuss it? The Call?
Oh, I love that book. It's in the folder, I think.
Okay.
Check it out.
Had to, of course, get the new Conan run. So got that. Still reading Black Cloak, which I'm really enjoying. Again,
by the same writer that
as the Call, right? Yeah, that's what kind of. Mm-hmm. It's not the same artist though.
No, different artist, but same.
Weird Work. Because again,
you're the only one reading that.
I'm the only one reading it. I know. I like me some Shaky Kane. This one because I couldn't pass up the title. Comic Books Kill. Issue 1. It's a Scout comic. Who's doing this? Shane Berryhill, Hoyt Silver, the writers. No, I'm sorry. They're just the creators, writers and artists.
I didn't see an email for that. Scout, what's going on? Where's my previews?
Yeah. Just a few more. Again, buying it just for the art. I really could care less about the story at this point. It's the Sienkiewicz style Roman.
Oh yeah, the Romans. I think is that the last issue? I think it is, right?
I think it might be. Yeah.
Yeah. That Roman number 6. I realized I just wanted to buy the collection of that instead.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm doing with this book, Ghost Lore. I read the first issue and liked it. I know you can't see the title. Here you go, Ghost Lore. I'm just buying them now. I figure when it's done, I'll just go read them all together.
Yeah.
It feels like the kind of book you want to read in one sitting, not parse out month to month. Opposite of that, though, is Barnstormers, which I will continue to get.
Great cover.
I'm following her on Instagram now. I love this book and this art. So it's great. And that's it. That's my giant fucking stack of comics I need to read.
All right. We've already talked about a bunch of the stuff I read, but there's some stuff I want to highlight that we didn't talk about. The Invincible Iron Man annual number 1. This is part 2 of the Conquest of Chaos.
That's why I didn't buy it.
Yeah, it's so this is just all the annuals are telling one story, so I'm on board for that. That's how you're supposed to use the annuals.
I tried it, just not for me.
Yeah. So
really, I thought you would have loved this, Kyle.
No. I like the fact it's only the annuals. The story just didn't really grab me.
I just like when superheroes have to fight each other for dumb reasons.
I agree with that.
So you like 75 of 80 years of comics is what you're saying?
Right. But I mean, come on, Iron Man versus Storm, like how's that even a challenge for Storm?
Yeah,
I know, right? Yeah, doesn't she just lightning bolt the guy in the big metal costume?
That's what I would think. So I also picked up The Call. Really good. We have a full review on the channel.
I'll go check it out. Watch it after I read it.
Hades number 1. These Disney villain books are so much fun. This one's so good because Hades has to enlist a bunch of, because he's left out of a brunch at Mount Olympus. So he is so angry and upset about this that he's going to enlist a group of random, Greek mythology people to steal the Golden Fleece. In the meanwhile, we also know that Jason and his Argonauts are going after the Golden Fleece, and that's what's going to happen in this series, and I'm super on board with it. Hercules is one of my favorite animated films from Disney,
Never seen
it. Is very good.
You've never seen. So
what?
Wow,
dude.
I'm a big fan of Greek mythology.
And I raised the clay. Holy shit!
It's so much fun, dude. The songs are so good.
The songs are good.
I think like
James Wood is Hades.
I know we're not supposed to like James Woods anymore, but he's excellent as Hades. He's really good.
It's
early.
It's free. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think he just like became an asshole recently. I think he's always been an asshole.
It was pre him being an asshole publicly.
This was before I knew anything about him being an asshole. So it's
same. But yeah, it's really good. What was I gonna say? Danny DeVito plays the goat. I mean, come on. So yeah, I think is it Matthew Broderick that's the voice of Hercules?
No,
it's Tate Donovan.
Tate Donovan. Okay, I don't know.
Why in fuck's name do I have that in my head?
I don't know.
With as one of the demons.
Oh yeah,
that's right.
And of course, like any child watching that growing up, I had a crush on Meg because the way Disney drew her.
You and me both, my friend. I mean, come on. Sassy Greek mythology woman. Yes, I'm here for that.
And then I picked up. I haven't read this one, but Marvel Voices X-Men. It's got a bunch of stories in here, including the first appearance of somebody that we meet in the Dark X-Men book. So.
Yeah, and that was the other thing that bugged me is like, you know, it gives you a list at the end of all these post Hellfire Gala books, but in that it's like an editor's note. Oh, pick up the X-Men Pride story.
So you can, you can find out who Gimmick is, and then also Death of the Venomverse. I'm really picking this up because I just love seeing all these different versions of Venom, and the idea of Carnage like going from one multiverse to the other to destroy all the Venom symbiotes are like that really talks to me as somebody who grew up in the 90s. I mean, look at this shit.
Wow, that is pretty cool.
What is that? I don't even know. I haven't read this issue, so I don't know what's going on, but I really, really enjoy that. So that's about all the comics I read, I think. It was a good week. I saw somebody online post that we just had like the best month in comics in a long, long time. And then I'm like, I can't. So I will say the Night Terror stuff, I'm having fun with it, but I know it's not for everyone.
Yeah, I'm out of it. I tried.
And before we move on, the last thing I want to talk about is I read the Alien series that Declan Shalvey's doing with Andrea Brocado, 1 through 5. So issue 5 came out this week. I read all of it because I like to read the Alien series as a whole. Man, it's fantastic. So I can't wait. They're doing an annual in October, and then they're coming back with a different series, the same team, I think. So yeah, give me more Alien little series, even though it's like the same story over and over again. I like aliens. So I'm like the kid who likes turtles, but with xenomorphs. All right, Clay, you had a few more things you wanted to talk about, so we got let's call it 5-ish minutes before we get into the main topic.
I'll go through them real quick. From stuff I really loved to what I hated. Zom 100 on Zom 100 on Netflix has 2 stories. There's a live action movie, and then there's an anime. I'm gonna watch the anime. The movie is fantastic because it's just this guy who's beaten down by life, and when you realize the zombie apocalypse has happened, he's just happy he doesn't have to go to work. I mean, that's what starts it, and it's just a lot of fun.
You know what's funny, real quick? So he works in like animation production in the series, which is also commentary on like how hard they work these animation people over in well, I mean everywhere really, but yeah. So I'm watching the anime, but I think I'm gonna watch the movie afterwards.
Yeah, I love the movie. I'm gonna watch the anime because it's only subtitled, no dubs.
Right.
Then there was another Japanese zombie movie called Home Sweet, but it's a series. I haven't quite finished it. It's also on Netflix. It's just people who are trapped in an apartment building when a zombie apocalypse happens, but it's more along the lines of Resident Evil because they don't just turn into zombies. They almost like become giant flesh monsters. So the monsters are cool as hell. But the story almost unravels like Lost, because you aren't sure who's good, who's bad, and everything that's happening. And I'm enjoying that a lot. Right. I did Twisted Metal is a hell of a lot of fun for what it's about. I was really surprised how much I enjoyed it.
I'm glad to hear that, because I was unsure if it was going to be fun or not. Oh, that reminds me. Sorry, go on.
I've heard so much praise for Samoa Joe, who I think he plays Sweet Tooth, or he does the physical for Sweet Tooth.
Yeah, Will Arnett's the voice.
Yeah, I've never played the games, so
I haven't either. Yeah,
I just know it's like, oh, there's like this ice cream truck running around destroying everything, but I don't know.
Thomas Hayden Church makes that show. Like, he brings the believability of this world to it, and his backstory of his character is fun. I mean, it's just a lot of jokes and gags of the post-apocalypse, and it's just because we've seen it all, and so it just kind of goofs on a lot of that, and it's real fun to watch. You can binge it in a day. It's really quick. The Last Movie Stars is a documentary on Max that is done by Ethan Hawke. And he started to do it during the pandemic. And it was about Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward, who were a long married couple. And you get into the history of them, because during the 90s, Paul was going to do a biography. So he hired a guy to interview all these people in his life, including his ex-wife. And then he got sick and tired of it, and he burned all the tapes.
Oh my God.
And Ethan Hawke comes across the story, and he's like, well, wait a minute. He finds that they had transcribed everything. So he gets all these actors on Zoom, and he's explaining, you're going to play, he gets George Clooney to read all the Paul Newman roles. So he gets each person to kind of do the interview as if they were that person. And they go back through footage and tell the timeline. It's 6 episodes. You can binge it in a day, but it's a lot. I just think Paul Newman's an awesome guy. And when you get to the story really about, I say he's an awesome guy, but you get into some shit that he wasn't the best dad in the world. He wasn't always around, but he deals with that. Like he knows he's, the shit he kind of has been through. But when you get to his business and how corporations can be good, that's a really solid part, and that's in the last episode, and that's really worth watching.
Wow, that's cool.
Righteous Gemstones, I've binged all 3 seasons. It's great, and the characters that show up are great. Eric Andre is great. If you watch it for anything, John Goodman is just doing a masterclass on acting. He is doing.
When doesn't he?
I know, he's just so good. I mean, he's this dad who, his 3 kids are really pieces of shit who are growing up in the church and understand that they have power and money, and just a satire on that. And so that made me pick a documentary that me and Mark are going to be talking about on my other podcast called Marjo. Marjo is the story of a 4-year-old preacher who toured the South in the 50s and 60s. But the documentary was made in 1972 when he was going to leave being a preacher. Because I found this guy through Mystery Science Theater. He later becomes an actor in a lot of shit movies.
Really?
And so if you watch Riff Tracks or Mystery Science Theater, you'll see some of his movies in here. But this goes back and shows him as a 4-year-old as a preacher. He's even marrying people, like as a 4-year-old. And he talks about how like his mom would abuse him to get him to memorize sermons and memorize things for that. Like she basically waterboarded him as a child. God. And it is truly like seeing the Righteous Gemstones in real life, because he talks about like all the stuff his parents put him through to make him be this preacher. And I'm talking about 50s and 60s money. He goes, we were bringing home like $3 million to $5 million a year.
Holy crap.
You can watch it free on Tubi. Check it out. Me and Mark will be talking about it. Let's see here. I saw Barbie. Everyone see Barbie here?
Nope.
Oh, it's so good.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah,
I think we could probably. Well, first of all, we should probably get some other people on the show to talk about it, but we can we could discuss it more when it comes out.
No, it's just the four of us, and we're gonna call that episode the Casa Mojo Dojo.
See, I thought it was an Alan, and I discovered I was a Ken, and I'm just not.
Oh, I am very much an Alan.
No.
And then like Shudder had a great documentary called Sharksploitation, talking about decades of shark movies. From the three big ones are Jaws in the 70s, Deep Blue Sea in the 90s, and Sharknado in the 2000s. And it's a great documentary that goes through all the kind of knockoffs and stuff. If you want to check that out, one I wasn't real thrilled with is on Hulu, and it's based on a video game called Werewolves Within. Has anyone played this?
No.
It's I don't know. It looked okay, but basically it's kind of like Clue, but with werewolves.
Oh, yeah. Is it based on the board game Werewolf?
Which
maybe that.
Well, there's also there's also I think a video game called Wolf Among Us or something like that, which is pretty much the board game on video game form.
Oh, I thought Wolves Among Us was the Fables game.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's the Telltale game.
Oh, then maybe it is the world. Maybe it is the Werewolf Within. I think there's like a Facebook game too that's kind of like Werewolf, that like Mafia or whatever.
Right.
Too.
Okay. Yeah.
This is with Sam Richardson.
Yeah.
And the girl from AT&T / Squirrel Girl.
Lily from AT&T. That's all I remember as.
Oh no,
she also was Squirrel Girl too. She was cast as
Squirrel Girl. She was in a little scene, the brief period where I think Yahoo had their attempted streaming service, where Community was on. There was a space show that she was on. It was really good. It had the guy from the Ghostbusters revival by Paul Feige. The bad guy in that was in it. It was a great show. It was really good. I can't remember the name of it.
But Yahoo.
Real quickly, I've been rewatching Veep.
Oh man, yeah.
Sam Richardson is so fucking. I mean, everyone's really funny in that show, but Sam Richardson is like, he's just like this. He's not even trying to be funny, right? And he's hilarious. It's so good. Veep is I think it's very underrated. And it's a lot less political than I thought on the rewatch. Like very little politics at all. Like,
it's hard to satire politics nowadays. That's the problem. That's why people won't watch it. I feel.
But that's all. I forget his name. That's all that guy does. I mean, he did. The show with Capaldi,
which is why the Plumbers. I was excited for the Plumbers.
Yes,
but then the show.
What's it called? Other Space.
Yes, that was it. Thank you. Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Sorry. Let's wrap up here, Clay.
I'm done.
Okay.
I got
a couple things.
Go ahead. I got two very brief ones. First off, we finally finished Mrs. Davis. I loved it. The whole thing I thought was just fantastic. Go ahead.
What's the name of the main actress? Because she was in Glow, right?
It's the first thing I think I'd ever seen her in.
Betty Gilpin.
Betty Gilpin. Thank you. I feel like if you've only seen the trailers and the ads for it, it does not do justice to her performance.
Right.
Because she is brilliant and hilarious in that. And I feel like all the bits they showed in the trailer are her very downplayed. Yeah. And she's not like that at all. I mean, she's a badass. She's great.
She's fantastic. She's the only reason I made it through that the Hunt film from 2020. Like, she's the main.
How is that? Is that?
It's. I mean, I think at the time it was a little heavy-handed, but then now being a little bit far removed from it, like I rewatched some scenes on TikTok. Like it's just like very like, oh, that's the right, this is the left, and we're gonna fuck them up. But like, she's so good. Like, she's so good in her performance, and it's got a bit of a kind of a twist towards the end that I think it's I don't know, it's I think it's fine. I didn't go watch it at the theater because there was no theaters when it came out,
right?
But yeah, Betty Gilpin, like, she's great in Glow. So it definitely, Miss Davis is definitely on my list.
I mean, just stick with it. I agree with Clay that it kind of it goes in directions I think you're not expecting, and whether or not you like the ending, I think will be the key thing. But my whole family, we loved it. We thought it was great. So
yeah, the ending was the one that I was just like, really? But then I go, yes, that could really happen.
It feels very, once you think about it, like I say, watch all of Mrs. Davis and then go watch the news. And you'll realize, oh, fuck, that's actually pretty prescient. So
he also voices someone in the new Skull Island Netflix cartoon.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
oh,
that's cool.
She's so good. And then we are watching the fourth or fifth Futurama revival, and it is great. The only weird thing about it is I feel like this is the first revival where almost every episode so far is a callback to an earlier episode. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like you could sit down with someone who's never seen Futurama, and I think that they will enjoy it. There will just be some subtext they're not getting, but it feels very much like I don't know if when they got the whole crew back together to make this new revival, they were like, we're just going to kind of answer all the questions or bring back all the stuff we just never really dealt with, right? So if you're a longtime fan of the show, I think this season is really speaking to longtime fans. It's still good. There hasn't really... There's been at least one episode that's a little meh, but for the most part, they're fun. It's just great seeing everyone back together. The whole cast, I don't know. It's great. So Futurama on Hulu. Go enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. Kyle, did you have anything that's not comics that you're watching before we move on?
No, I mean nothing that's I just been just watching stuff on Pluto and just everything else, nothing really new or anything.
Cool.
Just been watching Hawaii Five-0.
Kyle. I love it.
Original or legacy?
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody has to watch those series, all right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, we'll definitely talk more. Hopefully, we can get this Strike Soto too. I just don't. They don't want to bring a bunch of stuff. Like, I will recommend that My Adventures with Superman show is so good.
Is it okay?
Oh my god!
I need to see it. I've been hearing good things about it.
It is one of my favorite. It's definitely updated, but like the core of like what Superman's supposed to be is still there. I love that.
I saw a clip where he's fighting Deathstroke, and you see Eiling and Amanda Waller there.
There's so much good stuff. They've changed the story around him a little bit, but overall, like that's still Superman, Lois, Jimmy, like they're all like who they're supposed to be. So,
but but again, I asked the question: is there a reason it's an Adult Swim show?
I think it. I hate to say that. I think it's because so there's one episode where they have the Brain and what's the name of the gorilla?
Monsieur Mahala.
Monsieur Mahala, and they are very clearly a couple. Like that's the part of it. Like,
God, that's the reason?
I don't know if that's the reason, but like if I'm thinking as somebody that programs TV, so like they are like I'm talking about super like before the Brain was the Brain, they were a couple, and
it's also very anime, very
It's great, and there's other stuff like there's also like Jimmy and Clark are roommates, and like they make jokes about stuff, but yeah, like
okay, all right, no,
it's great.
That's totally fair. Then when I saw the trailers, it looked like, and I don't mean this in a bad way, like a kid show.
I would, yeah, for sure. I would say. I mean, I think it is, but then again, I don't have kids, so what do I know?
By the way, I do want to make a quick plug because I totally stumbled on it on YouTube. Did anyone else notice Adult Swim flipping the bird to their corporate overlords? If you go into the official Adult Swim, there is now just a running live channel of Venture Brothers because they said they were going to remove it from Max. And so it runs all the time. I love it.
I just can't believe no one's investing in that because it seems like Adult Swim and the cartoon block of Cartoon Network, like would be huge because people, that's the biggest complaint is they've been removing cartoons.
I know.
People are like, where are we going to get this?
Yeah.
All
right. Anyways, let's get on to our main topic.
Yes.
So, like I said, with the release of this Blue Beetle movie, which Blue Beetle is a long storied character in DC, I just thought like, okay, why don't we talk about some of our favorite legacy characters in comic books? And this was any comic books.
I've got one that I know everyone picked.
And before we do that, let's talk about a little bit what a legacy character is, because I put out the call on social media and stuff like that. And some people were just giving me names of their favorite heroes, which I appreciate the response. But I guess I could have been more clear on the prompt. So what I meant by legacy characters was that it's a character that has taken up the same mantle for a different character prior, right? So in this case, we have Dan Garrett, who was the original Blue Beetle, and obviously this has all kind of been retconned to hell to make sure it fits in a straight line. And then we have Ted Kord, who is also a different Blue Beetle, and then now we have Jaime Reyes, who is.
It's kind of funny we're talking about this because Blue Beetle just came out.
Yeah. Well, that's why we're doing. Thanks, Kyle.
Why? I thought it was Spider-Man.
No. Yeah. This is because since Blue Beetle's out, but we're not going to talk about the movie itself.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so that's kind of what gave me the idea. So now, Clay, back to your point. What's going on? Tell us who do you think we all have on our list? And we probably do.
Well, I know that it should be on Kyle's list and it should be on Josh's list. Jack Knight.
Yeah.
Okay, absolutely. That's the one I was looking for.
I mean, because that whole story is basically the conceit Danny just gave, right?
It is
that is the purpose of the book. Yeah.
The reluctant hero who steps up for his brother and whose dad had been that. And the other thing that blows my mind about Jack Knight was because Jack Knight was such into 50s stuff that if you did Jack Knight today, he would be into 80s stuff.
Hey, hold on.
I had that action figure and then I broke it.
No.
Yeah. I have a whole cube dedicated to Jack Knight and the Starman run. And I think I have a statue, that one Jack Knight statue they put out back in the day.
I didn't have Jack Knight on my list, but my buddy Kev did. He's a big Starman fan from the Austin Danger podcast. Go listen to that. But Josh, sorry I interrupted you. What's going on?
Oh no, I was just as I was thinking about stuff for today, and this is just a question I'll kind of pose after I say mine. You know, I immediately thought Starman, which again is a book about generations of taking up the mantle. I picked Sandman because, again, if you think about the original first storyline of Neil Gaiman's Sandman, it is about this concept, right? He goes back and gets all of his tools from people who have also served, I mean, not entirely, but other people who've served as Sandman, right?
Yeah.
And then I love the Wesley Dodds Sandman. You know, you have people with these names. And one of the brilliant things that Gaiman did was he looked back at all the characters that had these names and then tied them together.
Okay. So that was going to be my question, because my question was, is Sandman a legacy character as we're trying to, because I don't think Morpheus the Dream was taking up the mantle of the.
Oh, no. He's the Sandman, right? He's the first. He's the origin point.
Okay. He's existed longer than Wesley.
So
Dodds.
Gaiman retconned it to where all the other Sandmen were inspired by okay. How many Sandmen are there too? That's a good question.
Okay, so we got Wesley Dodds.
3, 4?
You got the 1970s Sandman, who was eventually would also become the host body for Silver Scarab, the Earth 2 Hawkman and Hawkgirl's son. You've got Morpheus, and then you've also got Silver Scarab's and Fury's son, who would go on to take up the mantle of Sandman after Morpheus dies.
Does the Sandman I guess is the one that's named Daniel? Is he the Sandman?
Okay. Yeah, he becomes the new Sandman, and he even makes an appearance in the Grant Morrison Justice League series right after he appears. Yeah, but he is tied. He is the tie because he is the son of the 1970s Sandman. Because in Infinity Incorporated, the Silver Scarab, who's the son of Hawkman and Hawkgirl becomes evil. His spirit dies, but then his spirit goes into the body of the 1970 Sandman, and he has a child with Fury, who's the daughter of Earth 2.
Where's the? We need
my head.
We need the Charlie Day diagram.
There is no Pepe Rosso. Anyway, but okay. But here's what I started thinking. So far, right? Everything we've just said about Sandman, about Starman, I'm sure there are others. Those are all DC properties. And it got me thinking, DC fundamentally has this built into their DNA, right?
Yeah.
When the Silver Age rebooted, it was rebooting characters that were the next generation of
DC
those Golden Age ones.
Was the first to have the legacy character.
Right.
I think
Marvel's very bad at this. That's my argument. Marvel is very bad at this because Marvel doesn't do legacy characters, really. They do spin-off characters.
I would change it.
Yeah.
In the last 10 years, I would change that.
I agree. Because when I was putting together the thumbnail for this, I was like, well, I don't want to just do DC characters. So I think the biggest, I would say their biggest home run, I think, is Miles Morales.
No,
Spider-Man.
hold on. I take it back. Marvel actually has done the legacy characters starting from the 40s. Because there have been multiple Captain Americas.
That's true.
Yeah.
Right, but how? Yes, and that's one I thought of actually. Except even today, we simply have multiple Captain Americas, which is great.
Now,
right?
but beforehand, we didn't have multiple. Even 1980s, when they took the mantle of Cap away from Steve.
You're right. Okay, yeah, you're right. And they gave it so Cap is one example.
I think
right.
Another, like I said, I think Miles is the more current, and I would say maybe the most successful example.
But here's the thing: is okay.
Hold on. Let me tell you. So remember, Miles' story was that Peter died and he took up the mantle.
Okay, yes, all right, that's true. But if we look at the Spider-Verse generally,
oh boy, here we go.
Miles is the only example of that because in the Spider-Verse, all the other Spider people are just that universe of Spider-Man.
No, it was Spider-Man, but again, Spider-Woman. 616 had Jessica Drew and then Julie Carpenter, who took over Spider-Woman.
She's not taking up the mantle of Spider-Man.
We're not talking about. I'm talking about Spider-Woman, the legacy character. There was one woman.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
and also, I think Spider-Man 2099, like his name is Spider-Man, right?
Okay, all right, yeah.
And now I want to also travel back to the 90s when Johnny Blaze stopped being the Ghost Rider, and we were introduced.
Okay, all right, that's a fair one. Yeah,
I think a lot of people don't like Danny Ketch. I feel like Danny Ketch gets an unfair.
He does.
An unfair.
But we get the Wild West Ghost Rider, so that's another good legacy character, right?
And then the more current Ghost Rider, what's his name?
Robbie Reyes.
Yeah, Robbie Reyes.
Wait, hold that up higher. I can't see it. Oh, Deathlock. Yeah.
I guess we have had multiple Deathlocks too.
Yeah,
the legacy character.
We talk a lot about Deathlock in our next in the part 2 of the interview with David.
Okay, now here's a crazy. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna drop a couple of recommendations because of.
Oh, right.
Let me get this.
Before you say that, can I just throw one in real quick?
Yeah.
Staying on Marvel, I think a weird one is Venom.
I have
think about Venom. It. You get all the different Venoms, but it's just the symbiote attaching itself to other people.
Oh, he's on my list.
Yeah,
I knew he would be.
Venom and his own run with in just his own title was pretty much like a Venom in a heavy metal comic because he just went in space and he was with the Guardians for a while. I love
Flash Thompson is Agent Venom.
Yeah,
and then I think Matt Gargan was Venom as well for a while.
No, Captain Marvel.
I have Captain Marvel.
Monica.
Captain Marvel's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I put Carol Danvers down specifically just because Carol has such a wild ass backstory that it was nice to change her to Captain Marvel, get rid of all that backstory shit, and just focus on her from the Kelly Sue DeConnick run and go forward.
Right,
because all her past stuff is Miss Marvel. I mean, there were some good stories in there, but
so problematic.
It is problematic. That's the big thing right there.
Let's look at these comics.
All right, so
Look
this
at that.
this is one of my early. This is the first Blue Beetle. So I just wanted to.
So that's Dan Garrett.
Yeah, show off some of my collection. The Living Nightmare of Michael Collins. This is Dwayne McDuffie. This is a great Michael Collins. I think is the first Deathlock. Let me see. Let me double check.
No, because this was when they
Manning. Luther Manning is the first Deathlock.
Yeah, thank you.
Which you can get in here in Deathlock the Demolisher, because this is the complete collection.
Doesn't one of the artists that created Deathlock, isn't he like local? Oh no, maybe I'm thinking Deathstroke. Steve Irwin. Never mind.
Yeah, Steve Irwin did.
Steve Irwin's a local. He was just at they did a little mini convention at the Irving Mall because they just opened up a shop inside the Irving Mall, collected. I think if you've been to the Forward shop or the shows. Oh, here. Oh no, that's for the other. I was gonna pull this one, but this is for the next week's show. But yeah, they had a little convention. I got some Transformers flag, a little TMNT.
Does DFW have the most comic conventions each year?
Maybe.
I swear to God, we have so many.
We are definitely blessed with a lot of comic shops.
Well, yes, that's true. I thought you were going to say blessed with a lot of conventions. I'd be
no. Well, I mean, that's a blessing for me. My wallet and the rest of the people, not so much. So I want to throw it back to social media. Isabel responded to our tweet. She talks about comics on TikTok. That's kind of why she follows us. But Cassandra Cain,
I have her down.
Tim Drake, and I think somebody that I got from a lot.
Oh, that's a good one, Robin. Yeah,
and Wally West.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Flash is all about this legacy kind of
generations.
Oh,
Green Lantern. That's another good one.
I think John Stewart is my Green Lantern.
No,
I think Kyle's my Kyle's my especially since I found out he was half Mexican. I was like, oh hell yeah, let's go.
I'll give it to you.
So, all right.
No one's mentioned Scott Lang.
Oh, Ant-Man.
That's a good one. Yeah,
quite a legacy of Ant-Man. God,
how did I even forget about that? Okay,
Giant Man. Hawkeye took up the role of Giant Man for a while after Hank gave it up.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of somebody, I don't remember who it was.
Or Goliath.
I think it was Jeff, because I asked on Instagram as well. But Jeff, who we know from the Boomerang comics, Hawkeye, Kate Bishop.
I think
she is one of the more popular ones. If you know, and I'll post these stories on our Instagram of the people that replied, but I was saving them for the show.
All right, I take back my question / comment. Then Marvel does have good legacy.
Not as old as DC. But
not
still.
as old as DC.
I think so.
I put down Danny Rand when he took over for Daredevil. When Daredevil had, and when Mad had to say, would wear the sweatshirt that said, "I am not Daredevil."
Well, and Elektra too, right? Elektra and the more recent stuff.
They also have that new Power Man that came out a couple years back.
Yeah.
He's still a legacy. He still took up the mantle.
He took up the mantle, but man, you can't replace Luke Cage.
No, nobody can. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, I did like the new Iron Fist. The Alyssa Wong had
the latest
rebooted
one.
that one. Yeah,
I need to finish that. I don't think I finished that, but that was a good. I like the idea.
Johnny Storm. Johnny Storm is the second Human Torch.
Yeah, but he isn't taking up the mantle of the original Human Torch, right? I mean, it was. You know,
that's kind of like that's.
They even mentioned he took the name because of him. There was
when did they say that?
He mentioned in the original comic book. He even mentioned there was the original 1940s Human Torch. That's why I'm gonna take that mantle name.
Maybe.
Fucking hell! Really? I'm gonna go find this. All right.
Is there any legacy villains that have taken up a mantle? Can you guys think of any villains? I didn't even.
Doom. Dr. Doom. Christopher. There was a time when Doom was exiled from Latarvia. And he had a kid. He put a kid in his armor and made him think he was a real Doom.
So is that his kid? Is that his son?
No. It was just a kid. He basically kidnapped him, basically brainwashed and put in a new suit of armor. And Christopher actually thought he was the actual Doom. So for a while there was. This is when Doom was exiled, and there was he was trying to get help from Black Panther, Fantastic Four, and he was trying to take back his kingdom, but there was the two Dooms taking each other.
Oh, Black Panther. Duh.
What about the Council of Kings? sense.
That's what I was going to say, because has Kang always been considered? Because I know it was retcon recently that isn't it Franklin?
Richards? I think it's been Franklin for a while. Yeah.
I think it has been for a while. Yeah.
So I didn't know if it was before that Kang was someone else and that Franklin took over as Kang.
One of the best ones. Well, there's two: Hobgoblin and Green Goblin.
Oh shit, that is a good one. Oh, that's a really good one.
Goblins.
Captain Boomerang.
Captain Boomerang, his son. He picked up the mantle when his dad died.
Little Boomerang.
No, the Trickster.
The Trickster did. And
that was my nickname in college.
Your master. There's been
I think the Rogues. Have all of Flash's Rogues just passed on the mantle eventually?
No. No. Only I would say Heatwave and Captain Cold. I think are the only two originals who've always been. I think.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a second Captain Cold at one point because he changed his costume. I remember that because I was like, "This is ugly as fuck."
Okay, I've got a weird one, but because I was sitting here thinking about it, the Joker, but specifically the Return of the Joker from Batman Beyond.
Maybe.
I have Terry McGinnis down.
I did have Terry. He's on my list.
Yeah.
Stephanie has been Robin. Not great, but I mean, she's been. They've used that as the big story plot as all the Robins, so she's counted as one.
Yeah, not for a long time, but yeah, she's definitely. I mean, we've had, I think 6 to 7 Robins in the main continuity, not including any other alternate.
I mean, technically, hasn't Duke been a Robin? Was it
Duke was Robin before he became the Signal.
No.
Have they made would Carrie from Dark Knight Returns? Is she canon? Robin?
So the multiverse now, I'd say probably yeah.
I mean, yeah, I don't know if they ever brought her into the. If you watch Gotham Knights like I did,
technically we've had there's been 2 Dick Graysons. We've had 2 different Robins even back before we had all the multiverse. There was Dick Grayson who was Earth 2 Dick Grayson who took Batman's spot. Yeah. And they even did crossovers when they were doing the Crisis stuff.
Okay.
Dick Grayson's also been Batman.
Yeah.
We now have 2 Supermen running around. Right?
John,
it's crazy.
Yeah, because John is Superman, and then Clark is Superman.
But then, you had Steel was Superman for a second. You had the Cyborg Superman. You had the Eradicator, and you had Superboy. Who was going.
We need to revisit that because I just love the idea of the Reign of Superman. I think it's dumb, but it's also feels like so much fun. I love those die cut covers.
Shit. No, Spider-Man before we had Miles. Ben Reilly.
God, bring it up.
Yeah, I'm bringing it up. Still.
The dude's a fucking clone. That's not taking up the mantle.
When Peter decided to give up and go try to have a kid with Mary Jane, he took up the mantle.
That's right.
All right.
Let me go back and look. So we do have Wally West. I mean, we got a lot of Flash.
God bless. I hate the clone saga.
I never thought it was good, but we're talking about legacy characters.
No, you're right. Yeah, I was trying to think who else.
Well, I think Kyle sent me something. Send me a.
Yeah. I had to do it.
Let's dive into that because.
Yeah,
I didn't even.
Wait. Hold this for Clay. I want Clay to see this, so I want to see if he's
okay. I'll hold it. Yeah. Well, then let's talk Wolverine while we get, and then we'll get here eventually.
Oh my god!
So we've had obviously Logan, main Wolverine, big Wolverine, but then as we mentioned, Daken, his son, was Wolverine during the Dark Avengers stuff. Now, I don't know if that actually counts because he didn't take up the mantle. He was actually an imposter, right? Because they were all pretending to be Bullseye was pretending to be Hawkeye, and
Moonstone was pretending to be Captain Marvel.
Yeah. So I don't know if that fully counts, but we do have Laura Kinney who was and currently is the Wolverine as well. Although now we have 2 Laura Kinneys running around, so that's also very confusing. Because
X-Men.
Miss Marvel. Kamala now is taking up the mantle for a previous Miss Marvel. I mean,
and I was thinking that as well. That is built into her story, right?
Yeah.
She is.
Well, not even that. There was another Miss Marvel back when in the 1980s when the thing got morphed into the huge spiky thing. You had Shen Kira, who was Miss Marvel for a short time, and before she became She-Thing, she took on the
I was going to ask who the hell She-Thing was, because I read it during that time, and I'm like, I have no clue who this is.
So back when the Thing had its original run, he was a wrestler, and he was being mutated. The Power Broker gave her powers, and so she became the new Miss Marvel and joined the Fantastic Four until she got mutated with the Thing.
Interesting. Okay.
Let me see. Sorry, I'm just going back through some of the responses, but a lot of people, there's a lot of Wally West. People really love the Flash, and I think, I mean, he's kind of my Flash too, because the cartoon had him. Like, he was anybody that was in the Justice League animated series. I feel like those are my core, except for Green Lantern, which I think they eventually brought in more Lanterns. But I mean,
Kyle did make an appearance in the Superman, and did make an appearance in Justice League too.
Yeah. So, but I mean, obviously, John Stewart is Green Lantern for a lot of people, which is still insane that they haven't made a live action thing with him. But all right, Clay's back. Let me get it set up. Clay, Kyle sent me a link, and I just opened it, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
I've got more characters I can draw.
Yeah, character. So I just wanted to go over this. No, not sponsored by Adidas. Although, I mean, if they want to send
what the hell is Fang?
Why are there 4 Fangs?
From the 1970s, in issue 107 from Uncanny X-Men, when they were trying to save Lilandra, and they got sent to her universe, and they took on the Shire Guard for the first time. Wolverine gets his costume burnt off, and he sees dude right there, the wolf dude, Fang. He knocks him out and steals his costume. That's when you realize that's Fang, and he's like this werewolf member of the Shire Guard. And there's been multiple different Fangs, and that's the costume that Daken is wearing in the new Alpha Flight, and that's the name he takes up. So Fang, he's technically a legacy character.
You know, I saw somebody comment on that, like, and I was like, "What the fuck are they talking about?" And now I get it. That's, man, you know, sometimes these writers,
shit right there.
You know,
yeah. Like,
I just, you know, for the first time ever, everything Kyle just said has convinced me. Chris Claremont must have been taking a fuckload of cocaine in the 70s. I mean, just a lot.
What else were you doing?
Yeah. Put a storyline here. I'm gonna put a storyline here, and a storyline here, and a storyline here. People are going to be talking about this shit for the next 50 years.
You know, I've made a list of people I want to talk to in comics, and I think Ed Brisson is moving up in the top because I want to ask him about how the fuck did you get to the Fang costume in the latest.
It always comes down to they'll go, it was a comic I read as a kid that just stayed with me.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Well, and the other thing is, like, how do you, like, so one of the things that David Peppers commented on, like, you had to ask, like, are these characters available, right? Like, for Savage Avengers run and stuff like that. So, like, was Daken, first of all, I mean, was he available for that? And then what was the process of, like, getting the costume approved for the Fang so, like, I don't know. I think that'll be fun too.
Daken's a better name than Fang. I just don't understand the change. Like, call me Fang, but he doesn't even have sharp teeth.
Well, they also change to Scout. What's her name? Gabby's name to Scout, right? And then you know which one I really hate? The Spider-Win's name is Ghost Spider. I hate that.
Yeah, I have been so confused by that because again, I only know these iterations from Marvel Snap. So like Ghost Spider, I got the card. I'm like, isn't that Spider-Gwen? And I'm just too lazy to look it up. So
we need to do like a trivia show where we just ask questions to Josh, but his answers only come from Marvel Snap.
I will fail so terribly.
His answers are only from the Marvel Snap lore.
We're putting Lore's doing a lot of heavy lifting there, I have to say.
All right, Clay, you said you had a few more?
Yeah, anyone say Firestorm?
Oh no, that's a great one.
Those two words together.
Okay.
And what's crazy is every iteration of Firestorm has two people, so you're talking like 12 different people.
Yeah, you're right.
How about this? How about the Hulk?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But are you like in Old Man Logan? Are you talking about all his inbred family, or
no? I'm talking like with, you have Red Hulk, you had Scar, who's technically a Hulk.
Amadeus Cho took over as a Hulk.
Yeah, exactly.
Amadeus Cho, yeah.
Well, Thor too, right? Thor was a different guy in the 90s. Like, he looks very similar to Thor.
No, he was. Yeah, you're right.
It was like
He
it
lost his
wasn't
soul, of course, so
Odinson. It was somebody else, right?
Yeah, it was
Thunderstrike.
Thunderstrike.
Right.
Yeah. Which
90s
I
Marvel
think he has a really rad costume. I'm just gonna say that.
with a mace. I love that fucking mace.
Yeah.
God.
Did y'all go into the Watchmen at all?
Oh no, that's a good one.
Okay,
Yeah,
because they're all just based on Charlton characters.
True, but even there, you've got Silk Spectre within the lore of Watchmen, right? So
Night Owl. I mean, Night Owl. There was
Yeah.
multiple, so
The comedian and the comedian.
Steel.
yeah, his niece.
Steel puts the S on his costume or
Well, his
costume or
niece
his.
became Steel too. So
Yeah, I mean, he
Yeah.
stepped up. I mean, you had 4 Supermen that kind of stepped up when Superman died, and I think Steel is the best of the 4.
am I the only one? Because Danny brought up earlier, anytime someone mentions the Reign of Superman and the Eradicator, I just think of that Kids in the Hall sketch.
No,
Huh?
I don't know which one that is.
It is from the very first episode.
Okay,
I'll find it.
Did you
Go
ever see
on.
Reign of Superman?
Ignore me.
my
Right.
favorite Robin is Carrie Kelly because because that was the first time I saw a Robin change in the book while I was reading it. You know, like it had always been Dick Grayson. I don't think I ever saw the second iteration, and then I saw a lot of the third one. But in Dark Knight Returns, when you see Batman accept Carrie Kelly as Robin, and she's just excited and hyped, I just kind of dig that. I dig Dark Knight Returns.
Wonder Woman.
Okay, I was going to ask about her because I feel like it's always been really okay.
Okay, so you've got original Diana, then you've got
Yeah.
Earth 2 Diana, then you've got what's her name that took over the mantle for Wonder Woman? It's
Artemis took
Artemis.
over at some point.
yeah.
So
and then even in the future, and the dark future with Young Justice, Cassie became Wonder Woman.
yep, that's right. So
And I think
all right.
I think it's the point Dawn has been Wonder Woman.
So to kind of wrap up this in a neat little bow, let's talk about the shitty ones. And I just googled it, and CBR put a list together, and we've already talked about a lot of these people.
Nice.
So I think it's gonna be really funny. Let's just see if we agree or not.
All right.
So the first one they have on their list. This is 15. The list is called Bad Seeds. The 15 crappy.
No.
Yeah. And Thunderstrike's the first one on there. Look at it.
No.
Oh,
Here,
fuck, I love the hammer.
let's go through the list.
John Walker,
Captain
hard
America.
agree. Absolute terrible.
Okay. Ben Riley, Spider-Man.
Absolute agree. Awful.
And as Spider, I like it as Scarlet Spider.
Yeah, I like Scarlet Spider too.
Okay. Joker's daughter. I don't know if that completely fits. I think
I don't know.
I like Duella Dent's character better. The other version of Joker's daughter than this one.
Yeah.
This one was kind of like it was bad.
What about Punchline?
Well, she's a new character, right?
No, I know, but isn't she basically inspired by the Joker?
Well, no,
I
but
think
she's
so.
not the Joker though, right? She's kind of like
She's not the Joker, but she was kind of inspired by the Joker, or not?
maybe.
No.
Yeah,
All right.
because I would think that you would want to call her like a henchman type.
No. I will not.
This is funny. I think I need. So Kyle, here's what we need to do. Can you find us some Thunderstrike books to read?
Yes, I will. That's my mission. Fuck.
And
No,
then
wait,
we'll
hang
come
on.
back-
Good Thunderstrike books to read.
We'll come back and talk.
I mean,
We'll see if it's a
the
bad.
time Thor was pretty awesome. I thought I loved it.
I like also that everyone had a cutoff jacket vest thing in the 90s like this.
Yeah, and long ponytail hair.
They
Yeah.
used that same look in Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
This one
Hard,
hurts.
hard agree. I knew this was gonna hurt you, man, but
Yeah.
This one hurts, but I get it.
Ow.
Dude, it-
Ow.
I like the panel they pick. Arm rockets engage.
That's right.
I need to post some. I've been bagging and boarding some comics, and I went through
There we go. Yeah.
some New Mutant stuff and just found some other shit that I need to post. Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
please
that Power
do.
Man is shit. I don't like him.
Agree.
This one I had.
Oh, awful.
Oh yeah, that was
0 hour. Just man, so bad.
I like that
Watch
he's
it.
carrying around little keys of fate or whatever.
Oh, just
Dagger.
so.
So someone missed
So
the idea
bad.
of the character completely.
I mean, and the thing is, the Dr. Fate costume is iconic and amazing. And they're like, fuck it, we're gonna go with this.
Hey,
Oh,
90s
wait,
was
wait.
the time to gamble on costumes.
we never did talk about Dr. Fate. How many Dr. Fates have been there right now?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, true. But again, that's kind of built into the character. So.
As long as it's the original looking Dr. Fate with the golden
Spectre.
helmet.
Yep.
Or the Spectre.
Oh, the Spectre.
Spectre.
Yeah, because what's his name? Hal Jordan was the Spectre.
For a while.
Yeah. All right, let's see. Robbie Ray, I disagree with this one so much.
I like him. I
like Robbie. I like the Camaro.
I only know him
forever is awesome.
I only know him from the game Midnight Suns, but he's great in it. So
you know him from Marvel Snap?
No,
I don't know him from Marvel Snap. I know him from another Marvel video game.
He was also in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. He was also in American Live Action.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Yeah, I think it's DU. What's his name? Never mind. I'm not even gonna guess. Eric.
So
I don't like him.
I liked him in that Al Ewing Ant-Man story. He was
This
pretty
is the irredeemable Ant-Man, right?
Yeah, and he becomes evil, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Julia Carpenter, Spider-Woman.
No idea.
I didn't hate her as much as back in the 80s and 90s.
But yeah, that's. I mean, but she kind of got that Venom look too.
This was stupid.
Fuck
Who the hell is Walter West?
Who's Walter West?
It's Wally West from the future. It's basically when they redid the Titans in 1999. Flash disappears, and this one comes out, and you realize he's a dark future version of Wally.
Okay. Nick Fury Jr. I don't know. I like him.
I don't know who that is.
That's
What's
Nick
the
Fury's
current?
son,
It's the current.
based on Samuel Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
the
they
current
made him
Fury.
officially junior? I didn't know that.
They reveal that he's his son, and then he takes over.
Oh, screw that. He's great. He shouldn't be on this list.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Artemis is Wonder Woman.
Eh.
I think this also may have something to do with the art at the time.
Yeah, look at the art.
It's mainly the art.
Teen Tony. I'd never heard of
That was
this one.
retarded. That was fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Tell us
Kang
how
basically,
you really feel, Kyle.
Kang basically manipulates and turns Tony evil. He kills people, and and they go back in time, bring back young Tony Stark, and then it goes into the Heroes Reborn with Liefeld, and when they bring him back, it's all retcon, and Tony's back to being good again.
Oh, we have some. We have Sam
I was
Alexander.
Nova. No, exactly.
Nova. Huh.
I like Sam as Nova.
From Jeff. Jeff, thank you, Jeff. We already talked about Kate Bishop as well. So thanks for responding on that. And the last one, which I definitely agree with.
Oh yeah.
The Pretty Boy Lobo from the New 52.
I don't even know what that is, and I don't want to.
You are very lucky, my then.
I am lucky. Wow.
Why?
Why?
Real quick, let's give some credit where it's due. Evan Hopkins over at CBR did this article back in 2017.
Oh god.
Maybe they can. At this point, they can probably update it. I don't think my biggest disagree with this one was Robbie Reyes. I don't think he's a bad.
Yeah, Midnight Suns, by the way, is a great game if you haven't played it, and he's fun in it. He's fantastic. Magic is in it. Kind of all the younger.
Yeah. From the Runaways. What's her name?
I can't think of her name. I know exactly who you mean.
Yeah, I don't remember. Is there any before we close out? Is there any legacy characters y'all can think of in comics outside of DC and Marvel? Like any indie stuff you've heard, or I'm sure Millar has somebody in his universe.
Yeah, Kick-Ass. Kick-Ass has gone from being just that kid to there was a run by oh shit, I can't think of his name, that did 20 or 30 days of nights.
Okay.
He did a woman. It was a older African American woman who became Kick-Ass, and she takes over all the drug cartels of the city.
Weirdly enough, from Image, Shadowhawk. Actually, there was more than one Shadowhawk when Valentino's character. The first one dies, and then someone else picks up the mantle.
Well, is there only one Savage Dragon?
That's
Spawn. Duh.
Spawn. What about Invincible? Does that apply? Like the father-son thing?
No, because his father was never invincible. He was just a superhero. The son took up his own identity.
Okay.
So there's no legacy there. I mean,
spoiler alert, that shit gets crazy.
I've seen all the memes. It's all right. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, shit. It's not comics exclusive, but Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm Ooh, what about the Transformers? Is anybody called Prime? Does that
They're
count?
all different primes. That's all. There's never
They're all
been.
different. It's more like they're
I
related.
guess if technically, if you want to go Megatron.
Oh yeah, because he's been different Megatrons, right?
No, but I'm just talking about Beast Wars because he takes up he dons the name of Megatron.
Oh fuck! Oh shit! The big one, the Phantom.
Oh yeah,
It's the whole point of the Phantom.
because there's a Phantom. There's a future Phantom.
There is, yeah.
2040.
2040.
Wow.
It just popped in my head. I was like, Jesus Christ, the Phantom! Like it's the whole point of the Phantom.
We got there.
Yep, we did.
I don't think we can top that. So
Yeah, I don't think I'm just going through the pulp ones in my mind, and I don't think any of them ever like.
Is there another Shadow?
Technically, not the Shadow, but they did it with Green Hornet. There's actually been multiple Green Hornets.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
That's right.
Yeah, good point.
And that's
Sorry, I
that's
probably
been,
blew out
that's been
everyone's speaker.
generational.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's been
No,
multiple-
there's only been one Shadow. There's only been one Doc Savage. He has a sister.
Oh, is there another? Oh, there. I guess the Rocketeer, right? Isn't there like
only one Rocketeer that I know of.
But the new series, I guess it's not in the comics, but the new series has a girl Rocketeer.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
A kid show.
The kids show.
We don't speak about that.
Did anyone bring up Renee Montoya as the second question?
Oh,
No, I don't think so.
I didn't think about that. Okay, the question.
Okay, well, I think it looks like we haven't gotten to the bottom of this. So if you're watching this later on, leave us your favorite one in the comment. If we missed it, let us know.
Yeah, please.
I think this was pretty interesting discussion. So let's take a look now. Here, let me.
I haven't seen this yet. I'm actually kind of excited.
I haven't either.
So so let me preface this up because I'll probably cut it out too. So up next, we're gonna watch the teaser trailer for the TMNT Last Ronin game that's coming out based on the comic book. I don't know if there's gonna be spoilers in here for the book. So if you haven't read the book, maybe don't. I'll try to put a spoiler warning if I clip this out into a different video. But yeah, let's go take a look, and then we'll talk a little bit about the game. I'm gonna thinking of setting my PlayStation this weekend because I want to play the beta for the new Mortal Kombat game is out. So, anyways, let's take a look. All right. Hopefully you guys can hear this.
Yeah.
It's pretty good music.
It is good music. Oh. There's your black and white, Clay.
Yeah.
Are they going to spoil it in the trailer, though?
I don't think they would. Because they're not going to show us anything.
They're not going to show us anything. I just want to know what the game's. Oh, okay.
No,
In
fuck
development. I want to know what the game's going to look like. I kind of want it to be cell shaded.
Well,
Oh,
I'm gonna throw this out on the same thing. They already announced, but the current beat 'em up they have for TMNT. They announced the newest downloadable character, and it's Karai.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
Okay.
they have Usagi Ojimbo was a couple months ago, and now Karai is another character you can download to play on the game.
Nice.
So,
I need to go. It's on Game Pass, and that's how I've been playing it. So I
Get
need
it.
to
Awesome.
add it. Oh, it's good. I've played the opening for the first few levels. I can't think of
So-
words.
One thing that's got me, so that wasn't much, unfortunately. That was
Yeah,
not
that was a little bit of a letdown. I have to say.
PlayStation exclusive. Fuck that.
yeah.
Is it a PlayStation exclusive?
But, I looked like it. I could be wrong.
I mean,
I hope not.
maybe. But
Um,
obviously, the very symbolic with the candles going out.
Yeah.
But yeah, Clay, there you go. There's your black and white. So no complaints from you, huh?
what a disappointment.
that was kind of a letdown. I hope we didn't build this. Yeah, that's why we're down to 2 viewers.
Sorry,
now.
gang. We thought there was more.
Yeah,
I'm trying
they could have just showed turtle deaths and not shown who the turtles were, and then had that last one standing.
Yeah, I mean they
They
could have
hit
just shown like
some candles and some artistic shit, but I
They
mean,
could have
it's
just shown
Well,
like,
they were kind of setting up. Like, I'm curious if actually you're gonna play each of them up until the moment where they die.
maybe. all like
Which boy, that'd be a
as you
bummer.
remember. Like the story is linear, but then as you remember how you're,
it is not a PlayStation exclusive. It will be at Xbox. It'll be PlayStation and PC. So
see, if you want some cool downloadable characters, then you look at this Mortal Kombat roster.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
I just like the fact that they got John Cena Peacemaker in there.
I know, I love it. That's the one I
want. Where's I want what's his face?
Oh, Vigilante?
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Where's he
going? Vigilante.
All right. Well, that was a lot of fun. So let's get to recommendations so we can close out the show in a timely manner. Because we rarely. Oh, did you want to watch this video, Josh, or was that just?
Oh no, I was just throwing it in there so people knew what the fuck I was talking about. I mean, if you just play the beginning, you'll see what I mean.
We'll close out with this video instead of.
There you go. That works.
All right. Let's go back. Does anybody want to start?
I will.
Sure. Go ahead.
Recommendations. I ran through every season of Reservation Dogs on Hulu. It is really great. It's got some great cameos. Mark Maron. Oh my God. Fuck. I'm trying to remember other people that show up on the show, but it is a really good show of coming of age on a reservation as Indian kids. And they, if you watched Letterkenny, and you know Tanis from Letterkenny that shows up. She is a character on Reservation Dogs that's fucking amazing called the Deer Lady, and her every time she pops up, that story is fantastic. And then Infinity 1 through 6, that Hickman stuff with Thanos and the Avengers, everything that he had built towards is just a great read. It has other stuff to it, but like just reading those 6, I loved it and loved the art.
It's really good. It's really good. I would say the times that I recommend are the ones from the Avengers series and the new Avengers series that were going on parallel. I think you can almost read them. So I read them in release order, but you could probably read them like separately and still get like a lot, because you'll see like, oh, this happened when, you know, at this point or whatever. So cool. All right, Josh, what do you got?
So this is by no means new, but it's been on my stack to read forever, and I literally finished it this morning. If you've never read the novel This Is How You Lose the Time War by Amal El-Mohtar and Max Gladstone, go read that book. It's not very long. It is my second favorite book ever now, and it is one of the most beautiful and beautifully written science fiction books I've ever read. Just so it's I'd say it's like 50% an epistolary novel. So it's mainly written in letters between two people, a woman named Red and a woman named Blue, and they're on opposite ends of the time war. And that's all I'm going to tell you, because you need to see the story unfold to kind of get to the kernel of what the story is trying to tell. It is like it is amazingly beautiful. It's a great book. So if you've never read it, highly recommend. This is how you lose the time war.
Yeah, my library has the audiobook. It's about 4 hours and 15 minutes.
Do it. Yeah, I read the whole book in like maybe according to the app I use, like 3.5 hours. So
nice.
It's not a super long. I think it's all of 50 pages. It's not long. So
okay, nice. Kyle, you sent me a link. I have it ready to pull up. You want to talk about what this is?
Yeah. So a dude who I've met through the toy shows, Alex. His company is called shopblackmarket.co. He is one of the biggest guys who does kaiju and tokusatsu, and he actually goes to Japan to get the stuff. So he's doing his first own convention the first year will be Four Corners Brewery, November 4th from 12 to 7. He's got a whole bunch of cool stuff. You can find more of this on Instagram. He has more like letting people know the guests and everything, but basically he's gonna have some artists from DC and Marvel, some of the voice actors from Ultraman. He's got different vendors who are going to be there, and it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to be helping out with the con. So if you're a Japanese superhero or monster fan, and it's going to be also Transformers and stuff like that. But and then eventually they're also looking. They already have another venue planned, but they'll announce that the day of the con. But this is the first day, November 4th, on a Saturday, so it should be pretty fun. And tickets are free, so you go for it's free. That's to go.
Awesome.
Yeah,
nice. Does he need panelists?
I'll talk to him. I'm talking about that. But the damn con is short for Destroy All Monsters.
Okay, I was gonna ask because I was like, what the hell? Cool. You should let
or I have to attend this damn con again.
Yeah, I think the Koops kits like
but hold on,
kaijus and stuff. So.
Absolutely.
He's got one of the guys he has is this artist, comic artist, and a lot of these artists are from Texas. But one of the guys creates his own Sofubees, which we call, which is the new name for the vinyl characters. For
wow, okay.
I've got two I want to show that I picked up recently. So you do your next one.
Go get it. I'll do my rec and then we can share those. All right. So for my recommendation, I want to plug a book that's coming out next week from Image Comics. It probably doesn't need my help, but I really enjoyed it. It's The Schlub. It's the new book from Ryan Stegman, Kenny Porter, with art by Tyler Cannon, Mike Spicer on colors, and John J. Hill on letters. So I have read this. I also this is my first Ashcan, which is like a version of the comic before it comes out.
Yep.
They're usually smaller.
They're usually small.
Yeah. This one. So this is pretty cool. So yeah, I recommend the book. It's about it's kind of like a body swap story. We have this dentist who is kind of an asshole and this superhero, and then they end up switching bodies, and it's very comedic. So it's a little bit of a change in tone, I think, from some of the stuff you might have seen Ryan Stegman. But Kenny Porter usually adds a little bit of comedy into his stuff. So it's being co-written by them. So really, really cool stuff. All right, Kyle, let me highlight you so we can see.
So I found this one. I've been looking for one like this, but I got from Alex's table. I got Megalon.
Oh wow!
Cool. So what are these exactly?
So these are the vinyl figures. I mean, Japan always has been doing a lot of different vinyl toys. You can have Ultraman, the Godzilla, but they make vinyl characters, and now they officially have a new name called Sofubees, which they're plastic models. And so, the Megalon from Godzilla vs. Megalon, nice. And then Babaragon from Godzilla, GMK, Godzilla, Mothra, Ghidorah.
I like that one.
That's cool.
Yeah. And I forgot to mention, for anybody who's going to be in Fort Worth, I'm hoping to still go, but anyone's going to be in Fort Worth next week. And if you got to just look it up, Kaiju Go. It's a specialized sort of event. It's a Godzilla event where basically they rent out this old theater in the Fort Worth grounds, and basically they're going to have different vendors there. It's going to be it's an old theater, but they have a bar where they can have vendors all set up, and you can buy check out the art and the toys. And they're going to be doing a screening of two Godzilla films: Godzilla vs. Mothra and Godzilla vs. Megalon.
Ooh, nice. Damn.
Also, if you're in the DFW area, I'll probably be going to the Dallas Comic Show.
That's the same day, yeah.
Yeah, at the Vista Mall Ridge, Music City Ridge, I think it's called now. I don't know, Music City Mall, whatever. But they'll have Rick Smith, who is from Pirates of Pennant. I don't know, who is this guy?
Yeah, I was a little bummed.
Wasn't he Daredevil in the
the
TV?
That's why there's a Daredevil thing next to him.
He's like a Broadway guy, I believe. He sings.
Nice.
Oh, he was Street Hawk also, right?
Yes, he was Street Hawk.
All right.
Also,
again, why is my brain doing this?
Jonathan Lipnicki, who's the little kid from Jerry Maguire, and
the human head weighs 8 pounds.
That kid.
Well, no, I'm a little disappointed. They had what's his name who played the Martian Manhunter from Smallville, who was going to be there.
Oh yeah, I think I saw that he canceled. Yeah,
he canceled. I'm like, damn it, I wanted to meet him.
And then comic wise, we'll have Val Mayrick, who co-creator of Howard the Duck, Ariel Diaz, who's a local cover artist, Brent Peoples, Devin Kraft, Sam Lofty. I think I've met Sam Lofty before. Ben Dunn, who created Warrior Nun, and
Ninja High School.
Yeah, Ninja High School. Matt Waite and Marlon Shoup. So yeah, plenty. This is a fun one. Free parking, pretty cheap to get in.
And they're also going to have another one in November. They already announced.
Yeah, and usually it's not very crowded. So if you're trying to stay away from crowds, you can definitely go in here and get a few cool things and find some comics and stuff like that. So that'll be pretty fun. So if you're out there and you see one of us, say hi or whatever, but subscribe to the channel first. The last thing I wanna talk about. Do you guys have anything else before I talk about? Okay, so we are revamping our Patreon, where we've put everything into. Right now, we just have one tier. It's called the Dollar Bin, which is just Dollar Bin comics. And for now, the benefits of this stuff. You're gonna get a lot of stuff in advance. Like my review for Gran Turismo is already up because I was able to watch the movie already. So you'll get stuff like that in advance, and then we're gonna throw like 1 or 2 videos a month, like exclusive to the Patreon. So if you're watching this and you want to support the show, click the link. I also enabled it so you can get 7 days for free as a trial. We'll see, and and as the community grows, then we'll maybe add more stuff, depending on what people want. So, but that's it. That's all we have. So let me pull up this thing to close out the show that Josh sent over, and then we'll get out of here.
do not show the whole thing because it's stupid. You could just probably show the first couple minutes. So.
Oh no, we're watching the whole thing. Whoops. Hold on.
Again, from the very first, this might be the first Sketchly show in the first episode of Kids in the Hall.
Oh wow!
And Josh may be the only one that has seen it.
Now, if you gentlemen would all like to turn to page 6, we'll take a look at the international overview. Now, I know it's common knowledge that we lost some money in the last quarter, but I feel that it's premature to blame our logo. Now,
Armstrong? Which one of you pussheads is Brent Armstrong?
The guy with the pointer.
Figures.
I'm sorry, Brent. He wouldn't wait.
who the hell are you?
I am the Eradicator. The Eradicator. Armstrong, you missed our squash game.
Oh, the D squash ladder.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot. That was very rude.
So we'll call it a default then.
Whatever.
Another win for the Eradicator! I climbed the D squash ladder 1 rung at a time. Today, you were my rung, Armstrong.
Okay.
Don't try to follow me. I have a cab waiting. Eradicator!
The most important thing in life will always be the people in this room. Right here. Right now. Salute me, familia. Salute.
Thanks everyone for watching.
Twitter loves you.
Oh yeah. Clay?
Hell, Bebo.
Josh? Simon Center, get the fuck out.